Which bow staff to use? This is actually often a stopping point for many people because they don't understand which bow staff to use, or even if they have a bow staff, they may feel that it's not right for them and therefore don't use it, don't practice with that bow staff. So we'll talk about different types of bow staffs, the purpose of the bow staff, what different heights can be of the bow staff, different things the bow staff can be made of, and then our objective with the bow staff and what we plan to do and why we recommend what we recommend with the bow staff. Note that we're not selling any bow staffs or anything at this time, so our recommendations are not biased by sales, although we may have affiliate links to something like Amazon in the description. One of the first inevitable questions will be, how long should the bow staff be? And sometimes you'll get an answer that a bow staff is 6 feet long, and in some traditions, in some areas, the bow staff was just defined as 6 feet long. And you can imagine this to be happening just as you would define the size of a basketball or something like that. However, most people don't see the bow staff in that way anymore because, of course, the height of the bow staff needs to be in relation to the use of the bow staff. Our goal, our use of the bow staff is to be able to use it with bow staff techniques while also being able to use it indoors in a workout type setting. Even outside of our goals and objectives, most places won't just define the bow staff as a set 6 feet. In other words, we'll typically relate the bow staff to the size of the person, which does make more sense because that's going to give it an application. What do we want it for? What are we using the bow staff for? Let's fit the size to that. With relation to a person, a traditional bow staff is a little bit taller than a person oftentimes. It's often said that the bow staff should be about 4 fingers taller than the person. If it's somewhere within the range of your chin to a little bit taller than you, that would be the standard bow staff size. If it's any taller than that, then it doesn't really function as a normal type of bow staff, because if you spin it around as a normal type of bow staff, it's going to start to be too tall to hit the ground, and you have some other type of thing other than just basically a traditional bow staff that you would be able to do the things you would think of a bow staff with, such as spinning it around. So anywhere from the chin to about 4 fingers above the head is the traditional range. Now our goal is to see how small we can go and still use it as a bow staff so that we can use the bow staff inside and in smaller settings where we're more cramped. And that would be around up to the rib cage type of area. So in other words, if you had this bow staff and you put it basically under your armpit, you might have a little bit of leeway under the armpit. And this is basically as small as you can go with the bow staff and still be able to use it as a bow staff. And the reason for that is it's got to be a good length longer than your arm, so that when you use it, you're using it as a bow staff. If it's shorter than that, you're going to have clearance and it'll be more like a bat. More like a sword type technique than it would be with a bow staff. So we're actually going to go on the shorter side of things so that we can have a smaller area in which to practice. Now we can think about what the bow staff is made from. It could be made from a hardwood, a heavier type of wood. You can think of like a redwood or something like that, a wood that's not going to bend too as easily and will be a heavier type of wood. We're not going to be recommending the hardwood for what we are doing. Because of the hardwood being heavier, it's more likely to hit something or go through a wall or something like that. The bow staffs often are traditionally made as well from softer type woods, and you might think of something like a bamboo or what they call rattan, and these are things that are closer to like reeds than wood, and they're often more flexible. And so the hardwood bow staffs are harder, they're heavier, but they often break as well, whereas if you go to the softer woods, they often have more flexibility and bend to them, and they're also lighter. So this is what we will lean towards with what we're doing. We're going to be actually using a soft wood, a lighter bamboo type wood, because when we're inside, that works well. Now, later we'll take a look at other types of things we could use outside of the traditional types of wood, which would be plastic and foam, and those work as well. We'll look at other methods as well. But if you're looking at the wood staffs, a traditional staff, then the softer woods, the bamboo or the rattan, the reeds are going to be more flexible. They're going to be safer inside. If you have more people around, they'll be safer with more people. They're less likely to go through the wall and things like that. So this is what we'll be concentrating on here. Of course, the techniques you learn with a staff, you can apply to any type of wood. So whatever you have, if it's the right height, the right weight, in essence, it has to be heavy enough. Has to be heavy enough to be able to do any of these practices. If it's too light, you won't be able to use it. you can have it be pretty heavy. The hardwood is substantially more heavy than the bamboo and the rattan type wood. And that's fine. You can do the same stuff as long as it's heavy enough to be able to rotate, to feel the spin of it. If it's something that's really heavy, that's okay. It'll still work. But as you start spinning something, it's going to have a lot of momentum to it. And it's going to be more of a workout to stop it from spinning. And if it flies out of your hand or something like that, then again, it could go through the wall or something. Now, when you think about bamboo or rattan, there's going to be different types of bamboo. If you see these ones with the little notches in it and they're going to be hollow in the end, that's going to be a harder type of bamboo. So typically the bamboo that you want, the softer type of bamboo, is actually not hollow in the middle. So if you're looking for something that is in bamboo, I would typically look for the ones that's a softer bamboo. And if you look at the end of it, then you're not going to see that hollow end, and you won't see as at the notches. Maybe they've just carved out the notches, but you won't see the same kind of notches in it. And that's the same for the rattan wood as well. It's more of a reed. It's not going to be hollow. Another type of staff that you will see is like a metal type of staff. This is more of a tournament type of staff. It's made to spin really quickly, and they are going to have staffs that taper off at the end, and they're often going to be made of some type of metal so that they can be hollow in the middle, be made of metal, and be able to spin around very quickly. So these are made for speed. They are light, so they could work inside, but the tapered ends make them more pointy in the end. So if they hit a wall or if they hit the ceiling or something, they're more likely to scratch it or go through the wall or ceiling. We won't be focusing on this type of bow staff, but again, the things that we're learning, you can apply to any type of bow staff. The less traditional but very useful bow staff is now the foam bow staff. You can find foam bow staffs on Amazon as well as elsewhere. They're great practice tools for the foam bow staff. They're a little light, so when you spin them around, they're a little bit light. You can even put something on them, such as duct tape or something like that, to make them a little bit heavier. Because remember, on the light side, it makes it almost harder to use the bow staff. So if you're using something that's too light, you might want to make it a little bit heavier. But if you do, make sure you make it heavier evenly along the bow staff. You don't want to have one side of the bow staff being heavier than the other side. But the foam bow staffs work really well inside, and they're less likely to go through a wall. And if you hit something with a foam bow staff, it's less likely to make a dent. Also note that the foam is not there as much to protect other people as it is to protect yourself, because when you spin the bow staff around, you will hit yourself from time to time. And to have the foam bow staff and a little bit lighter bow staff makes that a little bit easier to deal with. If you're having a very heavy bow staff with a hard wood bow staff and you hit yourself, say, in the ankle, that really hurts. But the foam bow staff doesn't hurt at all. So the lighter wood bow staffs, light bamboo bow staff, the rattan bow staffs, not a big deal if you hit yourself with it. So this, of course, would be ideal for an indoor practice. If you have multiple people, it's good for working out inside, less likely to break anything or cause any damage. And then, of course, you have alternative methods you can use to make a bow staff. This bow staff, if you take it apart, if a dog eats it or something like I've seen happen before, then the inside of the bow staff will basically be PVC pipe that they've got the foam around the end of it. So if you had PVC pipe, you could put just duct tape around the PVC pipe. Note that this is way too light. That's going to be the problem. You can't really spin it because it's too light, and you would need a lot of duct tape. So I'm not sure that this method would be cheaper than a foam staff, because you'd have to use a lot of duct tape. But that would be one method. And again, this is one method that you can use to just get enough weight on the bow staff, something that's fairly light, so that it acts and spins like you need to have it do with a bow staff. And then if nothing else works, you can also, find an old broom and cut off the end of it, and there's your bow staff. That's always a good method as well.